Hey, it's your girl Toya, and welcome to the Toya Moment podcast. Today on the Toya Moment podcast, we got a special guest whose missions is as powerful as his words. He's the author of Can B McFly, also the co-author of Mastering Mental Health alongside legendary Master P. Motivational speaker, activist, and just all around cool guy. We got Mr. Brandon Chase Tag. Chest Tag. I'm gonna get it right. Chest Tag in the building, better known as B McFly. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You looking good?
Yeah, you too.
Okay. You glowing.
You too.
I love it. So thank you for, coming down, sitting with me. I appreciate it. Taking time out your day to come down here. I know you're a busy guy, so I appreciate it.
That's all good. It took a little, took 2.5. It normally don't take that long, but
Because you come from New York, though.
yeah.
And we in Philly. For people who are not in Philadelphia and watching this, we're in Philly. He's come from New York, so you said it took 2 hours?
No, 2.5.
2.5 on a
But I
Saturday.
think it was just probably, I don't know.
It's
But
cool.
Yeah.
Was I worth it?
Yes. Yeah.
I just
Yes,
joking with you.
yes.
Hey, well, we about to dive into having some really great conversation behind the cameras. You and I, we found out that we had a lot of things in common, like in education, and we were talking about those student loaning.
Yes,
So we had a
yes.
really, really dope conversation. So I'm so excited to just have this conversation on camera and to really dive into mental health, because I feel like when thinking about this topic, you were like the person at the top of my mind, because I follow you on social media. I see what you've been putting out there. I see what you do. I see what you represent. And I was like, I need to get him on the show so we could talk about mental health and just talk about these things and get into perspective from a Black man, which is important. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to dive right into these things. So I know that you are a 2-time published author.
Yes.
So before being an author, before really making a name on social media for yourself, tell me a little bit about who you are.
Brandon Chastain from West Philly. Went to the big O.
You went to
Overbrook.
Overbrook?
I went to
I went to
High.
Overbrook.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah. I went to Brook.
Yeah, I graduated in 2000.
Okay, I can say I graduated, but okay.
Yeah, I graduated in 2000, and I found myself going to college,
Okay, what college did you go to?
Lincoln University.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there following my best friend, rest in peace,
Mhm.
to the late great Frank Smart. Man, he already had it. He's been my best friend since kindergarten. He already had it, understood what he wanted to do
Yeah.
in junior high school.
That's a good
Right?
thing.
Yeah, right, I'm going to a HBCU. I'm gonna become a Q, and I'm gonna be a preacher. I'm gonna get married.
Wow.
He already knew all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of his mentors and the people that he followed.
Hmm.
So I just followed him.
So
you
I know
know?
you happy though.
Yeah,
You happy following them.
yeah. But I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I'm from Master Street,
Okay, what in
60th,
Master?
60th and Master.
Okay.
So I grew up in a rough neighborhood. You had to fight. I mean, even in Brook, I mean, it was a fashion statement,
Yes, I know.
but you had to fight. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yes.
my parents were young. You know, when I was born, we talk about 15 and 17.
Wait, not to cut you off before we get into
Mm.
that, because I did want to touch on that in the book. I know you mentioned your parents being young, your mom being 15, your father being 17. And something that you mentioned in a book that stood out to me was kids raising kids while still trying to unpack their trauma.
Yeah.
When writing this book, how do you feel like this really helped you with your trauma?
Well, you think about the things that you've been through,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you reenact those things in your mind, right? And then when you're putting it on paper, unfortunately, that pain is still there, but it's also a memory.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal now is to just help someone that don't know how to articulate their trauma, right? Or help someone that don't know, that's used to their trauma,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of us normalize pain
Yeah.
and don't even realize that we normalize pain. And for me, I had to be transparent. I had to be vulnerable to let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why, writing this book, we're co-writing the book, it helped me, release a lot. The mind has to release.
Yeah.
If the body has to release, but the mind has to release a different way, right? And I had to release mentally because walking around with a constipated mentality will cause me to be another person
Yeah.
that I don't want to be.
So in the book, you do speak on your father, being abusive towards your
Yeah,
mother.
yeah,
What is your relationship like with your father, or was like with your
yeah.
father?
My father passed away.
Okay.
My mother
Sorry
passed
to hear
away.
that. Sorry to
Yeah,
hear that.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Um, it was rough, and it wasn't because it was me and him not getting along.
Hmm.
He just didn't know
Yeah.
how to,
Hmm.
and it was a lot of things besides him, you know, hitting my mother. It was a lot of other things that took place. Like he used to sell me pills.
Wow.
You know, when I was addicted to the pills, he used to sell them to me, and I don't think.
Come a little closer to the mic so we can get all that.
Um, I
No, we
mean,
got you. Sorry.
yeah, nah, I don't know if he cared, if he understood, if it was his um I gotta get it mindset, like I'm surviving mindset, and there's money in front of me. I don't care if you my son, you my cousin, uncle. I don't know what his mindset was like, but I know that's clearly trauma and clearly a mental health issue if you willing to sell drugs to your son.
Hmm.
And I found myself giving him more money for me to take drugs than he ever gave me in his life.
Wow, that's powerful.
And you know, you know, I don't think he would have did it to his son, his which is my brother. You know, he had a son by his with his wife.
Okay.
I don't know if he probably would have ever did something like that
Why? Why do you
because of his
disagree?
wife, possibly.
Okay.
You know, his wife probably like I believe if he was with my mother probably would have been like, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, but then I also had to think about his trauma.
Yeah.
I had to think about my mother trauma because they both left me. Like neither one of them are exempt from my, you know, what I've been through. And it was a learned behavior because I picked up some of their trauma and I passed it down to my children.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: do you feel like in your where you are in life, do you feel like you forgiving your parents?
I've forgiven them, maybe not 100% because I wish they were still here.
Okay.
So it's like in the essence of it all, yes, but wishing they were here in the physical to forgive them even more.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't make it. It's not 100% for me.
Yeah. Do you know of a way that you can probably deal with that? Because that's like a lot to carry on.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I'm just an experienced trauma baby.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert at um trauma and and all those other things that come with trauma. I'm not an expert at how learning how to let everything go
Yeah.
or figure certain things out. Um, is rough. It's rough.
I definitely agree with you on certain aspect of things. And I also know that like growing up, we're told in our household, we just gonna chat about this. Growing up, we're told in our household, what goes on in my house stays in my
Yeah.
house. So when we're suffering or we're having issues or certain type of problems, we don't really have that outlet to talk to. You don't want to go to school, talk to your teacher
Mhm.
because your fear is that I don't want my parents to look bad because if I say something about that's going on in my household, my mom probably be upset with me or dad might be upset with me because growing up, that is what you told. What goes on in my house stays in my house, which is not really helpful. And I feel like not until recently did we start hearing about therapy being openly spoken about
Mhm.
because in my family, therapy was not that word didn't exist.
Mm.
That word didn't exist around us. Oh, you should go see a therapist. Why? You people would say, why you want to go see a therapist? Why are you paying someone to tell them your problem when I can tell you your problem? Things like that. So in your life, how did you find yourself getting into the space of like, I'm going to acknowledge my trauma
Mm.
and I'm going to put it in a book?
Well, first I had to acknowledge that I have mental health issues,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we have to understand that mental health issues is not the person that's like just talking to himself,
Yeah.
panhandling, and not washing up and things of that nature. Is more to it than that, right? I told you before, normalizing pain. I found myself taking pills not just for the physical pain, but I was taking pills for the mental pain, from the neglect, from the physical abuse, the mental abuse, right? Not my mother and my father lying to me, people lying to me, things that I had to go through in life, watching people trauma bond with liquor and cigarettes and all of those things. Now, those things became normal, right? And I pick and choose in the time of my growth or just growing up. I used to pick and choose which one I liked the most, right? And then once I came to that point where I tried to commit suicide and it didn't work, that's when I realized I got to go in and get some help, right, for my drug addiction, but I also got to go get some help for my mental health issues, right? Because drug addiction and mental health goes hand in hand.
Yes, it does.
Right? And you don't have to be addicted to drugs to have your mental health like to the off,
Yes.
right? So once I realized that goes hand in hand, now it's like, okay, now I'm did my 30 days of rehab. During my rehab, during the rehab time, I was still going to see a therapist, and I realized with a clear mind the type of person that I was and everything that I went through, right? And it's like, damn, I didn't even, now that I'm not numb, I'm feeling all of it and I'm realizing all of it, and I'm bringing it back to the memories are coming back that I tried to numb away. And that's when I got comfortable with who I am, the things I went through, how I can get past it, and walking around with this constipated mentality not gonna get me nowhere but in jail, into the grave, hurting people because hurt people hurt people.
Yes, they do.
I'm gonna keep hurting myself. No, I gotta release it. So releasing it, not just in a book, but just like being transparent and releasing it to the world, jumping on social media, letting the world know the things that I've been through. And I'm not saying this for you to feel sorry for me. I'm telling you the things that I've been through for you to join me.
How about that? Come on.
Join me into this fight of hiding. Join me into this fight of being ashamed. Don't be ashamed of your story. Be ashamed if it's no ending to your story. So I'm not ashamed no more because the story is done. It's done.
I think, listen, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that because I do feel like a lot of people, I'm going to say a lot of us, I'm going to put a lot of us are ashamed of our stories, ashamed of where we came from, ashamed of what comes with us. You know, so for you to actually put yourself out there, I applaud that.
Thank you.
Because many people, the biggest thing is, I don't want people to see this part of me.
Right.
They see this.
Right.
And this looks great and perfect.
Right.
But this inside of here,
yes,
it's a lot of healing that has to be done.
It's spoiled. It's rotten.
Exactly. So you don't want people to see that. And I'm doing that, to be honest with you. I'm on my journey of doing my work as well because, you know, I used to say like, I used to hear people's stories, right? And I used to say my childhood wasn't that bad, you know. But I had to stop saying that bad and start saying, you know what, I did have some episodes in my childhood that I wouldn't wish on my child.
Right.
So I have started to do my own journey, and I did lose my mother as well. And I think that woke me up. I lost my brother right after that. And I appreciate that. But I felt like going through those experiences has brought me to a place of like, you know what? This is my life. We talked about off camera. I was like, I went right back to work after losing my brother. And people was like, how you gonna go back to work? Because the only way I know how to get over something is to keep going.
Yes.
You know, so those episodes of my life, because losing my mom, losing my brother, that changed me. I went from a girl, because I was just graduating college when I lost my mom. So I went from being a little girl to being a grown woman overnight. And a grown woman had to make grown woman decisions. So that's when I started to, you know, do my journey and say, let me acknowledge certain things that I've kind of been hiding or running from. You know, and it's even still, there's certain times that I'm like, you ever sit back and start thinking about things, replaying things in your head, and you're like, oh, I don't want to even think about that. You try to shift your brain. And I have to ask myself, but why am I trying to not think about it?
Right.
Why am I not trying to push through or go through it? What am I running from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I also got to a place of like, I used to ask God why me, and then I'm like, why not me? Because I do feel like what we go through shape us. Because not everyone can handle your story or what you've been through and be able to be the person you are to tell the story. Not everyone who was addicted to I'm assuming prescription pills.
Yeah.
If it was addicted to prescription pills, are living here to tell the story. To say, listen, it's another side to this. And it just doesn't like your journey or trauma didn't start when you first popped the pill.
Right.
There was things before that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I definitely want to just commend you for coming out and telling your story. And I said, today we really diving into mental health, and I really want to talk about mental health within Black men.
Yes, let's do it.
So I think Black men, you guys have it really hard.
Yeah.
You know, as a Black woman, I'm saying that to you. You guys have it really hard. Black men, from you are a little child, you're told to be strong, don't cry. Like, it's times where little boys fall and it's like, you crying? You like, you're not supposed to cry. Or like, you know, I see it. So as a Black man right now, being like, what is something you could say to Black men being honest and being vulnerable?
You know, they say things like action speaks louder than words, right? Well, I took it a step further and I say, but character speaks louder than action. And the reason that I say that is because whatever your character is when you're by yourself, whether you're suffering, whether you're thinking, overthinking, that's who you are. And that's the real you. So why are we so ashamed of the real us? Like, what are we afraid of? Like, how... we don't even realize that we are afraid of our own existence. Like, it's like we will manipulate ourselves in believing that you're okay and you're not. And we can literally walk outside these doors and put on an Oscar-winning moment, and it's all false. Being a man is not the size of your penis. Being a man is not how tough you are. Being a man is not crying. It's not because you don't cry. Being a man is knowing who you are and not being ashamed. Really talking to a person and letting them know, yo, listen, Toya, I need help. I'm hurting inside. And this is why I can't have emotional, intelligent conversations. This is why I can't be in great relationships. This is why my friends, we always arguing or fighting. This is why I find myself in prison.
Yeah.
Because we're actually emotional. When they say, oh, I'm a lion, I ain't got no emotions. You know, lions are very affectionate. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So stop using the word, stop using a lion, because you're not. You're emotional, you're scorned, you're hurt, you got a lot of scars that haven't healed, right? And you're not being yourself. Black men, we are men, period, right? Men, the rate of like suicide have stepped up tremendously.
Yes.
It's about, I don't know, don't quote me on the numbers, but it's anywhere between 30 and 50,000 men a year committing suicide. Black men take up about 5 to 10,000 of that. Like the number stepped up. I spoke about this on Men's Mental Health Awareness Month in June. Black men don't have a safe space. We don't have a safe space to be vulnerable. We don't have a safe space to be transparent. We don't have a safe space to feel loved. And when I mean by feeling love, a woman think because you're not cheating, you cooking, you may be having sex, that's love for a man. No. If that Black man made it home, honor that. Because we're dying from gun violence, we're dying from police brutality, we're dying from health issues, stress, hypertension, diabetes. We're dying. So if that Black man made it home, honor that alone.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I'm feeling emotionally. That's what the numbers say.
Okay.
The numbers say racism, not a safe space. Nobody's listening or being an active listener. We can't get good jobs because we got beards and we look strong and we have a deep voice. All of these things come with being a black man. Now, let's not get it twisted. 300 of our queens lost their job. 300,000 of our queens lost jobs in America, I believe, last month or something like that. I read on Forbes. So we don't want to undermine that. But black men not even getting jobs because we not fitting the criteria, looking soft, looking weak, falling down to our knees and begging. These are the things that they're not talking about.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we got to think about when we looking at a black man. And you said it, man, we got it rough, man.
I definitely think, as a woman, I definitely do think black men have it rough. I think you guys have it rough from childhood.
You got it rough too, but I see what you're saying.
I mean, a black woman, we definitely do have it rough. However, I'm not a man, so I can't walk that journey or tell that journey. I'm just a person that's looking. I'm a person outside looking in, and I do know that, like, from when children are young, a black boy is told to not cry.
Better not cry.
You better not
you
cry.
You sound like a girl. You sound like a bitch.
Yes.
You crying like a bitch. My mother told me that, and she didn't know no better.
Mm-hmm.
You crying like a bitch.
And what does that do to a person?
Right. I remember my grandmother, and this is no disrespect to anybody.
I don't think it's
sexuality.
Okay.
Right. But my grandmother used to say at the dinner table, I'm 5 years old, 8 years old. If you ever turn gay, I'ma kill you. And I'm just like, what the I didn't understand that.
But that's because, you know what, and I'm not excusing anything, right?
Yeah.
Never will excuse any of this behavior. But I feel like those generations didn't know better.
They didn't know better.
They didn't know better. Think about it. We're just getting around to us being able to actually openly talk about mental health.
Yeah.
Because this type of conversation was never had. You look back 10 or 15 years ago, people was not having this conversation. So let's push it back 30 years ago. It didn't exist. It didn't exist.
Listen, some of these things, and I wrote in the book, man, you can give a kid that's 3 years old a sip of beer. Like that. When we think about drug addiction, that can be the start of your drug addiction. Besides everything else, like, you know, picking up that gene of like over wanting things, right? You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get attached to it, you want more and more and more of it, right? You know I picked up one of those from my mother or my father or probably both, but I remember my father giving me a sip of beer. I remember my grandfather giving me a sip of beer, and that wasn't an issue.
Yeah, it wasn't frowned upon.
It wasn't frowned upon.
It is an issue, but it wasn't an issue where we're from, because it's like, okay, that's normalized.
That's normalized.
People cook crabs with beer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I definitely agree with you. A
lot of things. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at people smoking, like I said, smoking cigarettes and drinking. You're like, yo, I want to do that too. Because what are we looking at when we watching these people drink and smoke? They're laughing, they're dancing, they're having fun. They seem like they're rejoicing until the smoke clear, and now somebody is in the room having sex, or not even in the room. They could be on the couch having sex, and you hearing these sounds, or somebody's fighting, getting cut, getting shot. This is the normalized aspect of what we see on a day-to-day basis. So as a man, I'm not looking at nobody really in love. I don't even know what love looks like. I just know that I just got to just be who I am, and it ain't no changing that, because all I got to my name is my name.
And I think when being in a relationship with a black man, I definitely do think it's hard, because like you just articulate, some men can say like, look, I need help. But imagine how many don't say it.
What?
So what you're doing as a woman, we're just dealing with the aftermath. Yeah. And let's not forget that us women come with trauma as well.
That come with trauma too.
Like some people might got daddy trauma.
Yes.
They're looking at you who ooh, they're looking at you as a man.
Like you should know.
You should know, or you should be ready to
Right.
play daddy. I'm not going to say I need a daddy. I'm not going to say I need you
Right.
to play daddy.
Right. But
But
you
I'm
should be
looking
ready.
to you to play daddy because a black man is supposed to be the leader. Then if we together, I'm just assuming you are the leader, or going to be the leader, without even vetting you, without even trying to figure you out, to figure out what you have going on, what you've been through, or if you're ready mentally.
How about this though? Women and men are raised totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Our black queens are raised to be independent.
Yes.
Y'all are taught. It's just a natural thing. Go wash your little brother up or your little sister
Yes.
up. Go make the bottle. You've been watching me as a mother. I'm a mother and you're my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You've been watching me cook. Now I just naturally, I've seen it. I grew up with three. My mother, she's only 15 years older than me. Whenever she was around, shout out to my aunt. She's like my sister aunt. She's my aunt's sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like aunt/sister.
Y'all was raised together.
We were raised
together.
5 years older than me,
Mm-hmm.
and me and my other aunt, where I'm actually a month and some change older than her.
Uh-huh.
I've watched her naturally do things, and it wasn't like literally taught.
Yeah.
So you guys are taught how to be independent, where we're taught how to be dependent.
Yes. 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 Yes, you're so right.
The mothers, it's like, it's so crazy. And I want to tell a lot of our mothers something. You're teaching your sons how to be the men you despise.
Yes.
You're teaching your sons how to be the men that you despise. You keep giving them and wait, man, and this is not to talk down. You just don't know how to. You don't know how to raise a man because you're not a man.
And that's what most women, you hear that, I don't know, I can't raise him to be a man because I'm not a man and dad is not around. And again, that ties back into the mental health part and men having it bad. I feel like the easy way out, and I don't have any children, so I do want to put that out there to any woman who's raising her child alone. I definitely salute you because I definitely think it takes a superpower to be a single mother.
Shout out to all of them.
I do want to say sometimes we don't dig into certain situations more. You know, it's easier to focus on surface and say, this person just not around. He's a deadbeat.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and it would take more work on the woman to say, well, let me think about this. Has he ever had a father? Does he know what a father looks like, or what it means to be a father? What is he dealing with mentally? Is he able to get a job? Is he trying? It's different questions. And again, I'm not saying this is for everyone. I'm not, I feel like this is a case-to-case situation because some men really chooses not to be.
Some men
not
just,
to be the man that they should
scumbags.
be.
That's a
they
fact.
Are. But it's some men who are dealing with trauma and they don't know how to say, I need help. And I sure don't want to tell my baby mom that, like, right now I'm mentally off and I need help because she's going to think I'm weak.
She's going to think
because a woman, let's be honest.
She's going to think you weak. She's going to think you soft.
Yes.
Because in her mind, I had to just survive.
Yes, and I had to just jump into it,
right? And that's not always good, right? Because let's be clear. Having your child with you don't mean you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, speak about that.
And I tell even with men, just because a lot of men take pride, and there's nothing wrong with this, right? When I wake up, my child is there. Right? My kids live with me. I'm still with their mother. That's awesome. I love it. But it's a difference between living with your child and raising your child.
Yes, it is.
And our women, our queens, they are out there surviving. Just give me a man. I don't even got time to look at red flags. I'm lonely or I'm in need, right? I want someone around because sometimes it just gets to the point where it's like, I just want a man around.
And it's
nothing, go ahead.
No, I'm saying also get to a place where a woman gets to a certain age and it's just like everyone around me has a husband or a man.
Right.
I just want a man.
I don't
care what he looks like, what he comes with. I just want
a man.
Yeah.
And a lot of our men just want to be like, listen, I just want a woman to be my mother. So these are the things that we are indirectly going through. I just want a man around because no man has never been around. And it's like, I want a woman around because the women that were around let me just be whoever I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
So now we really need each other even more, but we don't know how to utilize each other. We just know how to use each other. We have never been utilizing each other for the right reasons, uplifting each other, supporting each other, teaching each other, challenging each other
Mm-hmm.
in a healthy way and not a directive dictatorship. I'm do what I tell you to do way.
Mm-hmm.
And even in my last relationship that I was in, I seen that like that was just too much for me. And I seen right, I introduced therapy. I introduced a lot of things, and that person just wasn't ready. And by the time they were ready, I'm like, man, you crushed me.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. But I mean, also just a side note, I think that this is a little bit off topic, but I do think just because everyone is a good person doesn't mean they're the person for you.
No, that's a fact.
And for where you are on
That's
your
a
journey.
fact. That's a fact.
Because I can definitely understand. Sometimes we have to be on our journey alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can be
Yeah.
joined on our journey by the right person.
Yes, but the alone
Yes.
part, not to
Yes.
cut your wisdom, but the alone part
Mm-hmm.
is when that's when you're becoming battle tested
Mhm.
because now you gotta, I can easily feed my dopamine with sex.
Yeah.
It ain't even gotta be sex. I can just feed my dopamine with me laying next to you and me putting my legs in between yours, and that feels good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that goes away from what I'm actually going through. So yes, you do gotta do it alone,
Mm-hmm.
but not alone. You got to do it alone to feel like when you go home at night, ain't nobody there.
Yes, that's a difference. That's a
difference alone.
Yes,
but
it
you don't
is.
got to be alone
Yeah.
to talk about the things that you're going through and to receive the help or to receive the knowledge and the understanding of, okay, what did you do when you went through that? Now, you ain't got to be alone for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's a lonely process. You got to fall in love with it.
And I also do think people sometimes get in relationships and they're not mentally ready
No, they're not mentally
because
ready.
they haven't done the work on their own.
You bought everything that I can assure you, and I can contest to it, and I'll be the first to tell you, all my relationships was baggage to the next relationship.
Okay.
Never worked on none of the stuff that I needed to work on or the things that I wanted to do better in order to be a better person in that relationship.
All right, listen. We're like speaking to each other's
Yeah.
souls at this place. We're speaking
Yeah.
to each other's souls because we can go on and on and on to speaking about just how people get into relationships and not mentally ready.
Yeah.
And we're not taught or trained to have these
Yeah.
conversations. You're not on your first date talking
Yeah.
about, well, what you've been through in life. Has your trauma
Yeah.
impacted you? Or how have you started unpacking? Or have you started unpacking? We're just not trained to do those
we're not
things or
trying to do
taught to
that.
do those things because when I say we, I'm thinking about people
Yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
grow up
Us,
looking like us.
Us.
We grow up is you don't talk about those type of things, and
You just jump right into
what goes
it.
on in your household stays in your household. So you grow up with that mentality. What I've been through stays in here. It doesn't never come out. But I do want to get into like mastering mental health.
Yeah.
This mastering mental health book. First of all, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
this. This is a big accomplishment.
Thank you.
We're not going to downplay it like it's something small or
No.
everyday thing.
No.
So let's talk about that mastering mental health. How did this opportunity come to you?
Well, all right. So I spoke about Master P daughter dying from a drug overdose. And I just spoke about it freely. Like I normally, like anybody that passed away or whatever from a drug overdose, I just speak about it on my platform, right?
Yeah.
Because I want people to know that even being rich, you can still be touched.
How about that? Come on.
Right? And somebody named Rizzo, a year or maybe half a year to a year later, hit me up, was like, yo, Master P want to talk to you. I said, what? I'm hyped.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually was on stage. I met Master P and got on stage with him, speaking in a town called Williamsport.
Okay, I know that's it.
Yeah, and I was just speaking to a group of people that's that town is addicted to drugs and stuff like that. So I was just speaking whatever, and then a year after that, Master P and Snoop Dogg, they actually created like a cereal. And they put it inside of Walmart. And then Walmart wasn't putting it out on the shelf.
Wow.
Right. So I'm talking about, I was like, damn, I'm about to go to Walmart and see where with Snoop Loops or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, where they at or whatever. So then I talked to my man Rizzo, and then Rizzo like, yo, Master P, like, yo, bro, you spread awareness. I'm gonna need you to go from city. Can we put something together where you can go from city to city? You know what I mean? You may got to go to 2 cities in one day. You know what I mean? To see what's going on with these Walmarts. You know what I mean? Man, I went from Dallas to L.A. to Long Beach to Oklahoma to Wisconsin to PA. I was traveling, going to
Right.
different Walmarts. Um, like going in the back, like, yo, I'm seeing a pack of cereal in the back, packed up, never been out for months and months and months.
How about that?
So I'm talking about, man, I went in there and got dug in. So getting to the book,
Yeah.
um, he did something. So that's how I got that relationship
Yeah.
with Master
Yeah.
P. And up to date, he was doing a tour, and he did a tour in Newark, New Jersey. He did a concert in Newark, New Jersey, and the one of the celebrities, Tiana Von Johnson, I was help promoting that concert, and we hooked up or whatever and connected, and she introduced me like, we writing a book,
Mhm.
and you know what I mean, Master P approved of it, man, and you speak about mental health or whatever.
Let's go.
Let's go. How you feel about that? I said, hold on, let me think about this. You got you got Master P,
Uh-huh.
you got you, Tiana Von Johnson, you got Darian Henson from Soul Food, and you got several. Well, I'm sorry, 9 other authors, and I get a chapter. Oh no, let's do it.
How about that?
Let's
Just
do it.
another way for me to spread what I'm talking
And
about.
I get the first chapter.
How about that?
What?
Come on, you can't even make that up, huh?
Can't even make that up, man. So
Uh-huh.
it was lit, man. And I ain't mean to but I just want to give you the history.
No, you give. I'm loving this.
Yeah,
We needed that. We needed
on
that.
how everything came up, whatever.
I think like just being able to use your platform for what you use your platform for and reaching to the
Yeah.
masses like such as a Master P. Again, that's nothing small. That's major.
Yeah.
Never downplay it. I think that it's a reason that you've been through or went through what you
Yeah.
went through, because look at you now. You're a published author. Your
Yeah.
story, I'm pretty sure it might has touched and helped people that
Yeah.
you would never know. That you would never know
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even to people who might say, I don't read books. But guess what? They're going to read 1 to 2, 3 chapters. So you know
Yeah.
they're going to read your chapter.
Yeah,
That's
well,
chapter 1.
That's chapter 1,
That's
man.
chapter 1.
You
I
gotta
was
say-
glued into it. I'm reading about, because like your story was so like, your story was a story that I have
Yeah.
heard before.
Yeah.
The teenage parents, the abuse. I've heard that story before. I've read that story in 1,000 novels. You know, I come from an era where reading books back in the day was the thing.
Yeah.
So we read about those stories for entertainment.
Yeah.
But to now read about it and to learn from it, to see how what happened in your childhood, how it has developed and helped you become the man that you became, was really like, okay, this is cool, this is dope, and I'm proud of you.
Yes, thank you.
You know what
so
I mean?
much,
And I
man.
do think that people need to let you know. Now I'm pretty sure you hear it all the time.
Yeah.
But you can't hear it enough.
Yeah, thank
because
you.
you
Thank
went what you first of all what you went through as a child, but let's talk about what you went through as an adult.
Yes.
You went through something major as far as being, and I don't want to keep saying it, but as far as being addicted to perks. Not many people make it from that.
What, man? We 100. I want to say. Don't quote me on the numbers too much, but I'm close to it. I want to say 100,000 people
Mm.
a year pass away from a drug overdose, and mainly opioids,
Yeah, yeah.
fentanyl, Percocets. You got amphetamines. I don't know. It's just a narcotics, man. You know what I mean? And that's more than gun violence.
How about that? And for you to see the other side of that, I feel like you had to tell your story. You
Yeah.
needed a book because books are documented. Book outlives us.
Right? How about
A
that,
book will
man?
outlive you. And
It's
so when
legacy.
you're gone, that story will still be able to be told. That story can help someone else far when you're gone.
You know, I tell people, man, like I said before, don't be ashamed of your story. Be
Mhm.
ashamed if there's no end to your story. However, I know that everybody is not built to be frontline warriors.
How about it?
So, and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Mhm.
So I say, I'm gonna be loud so you can heal quietly. I'm going to expose myself loudly so you can heal quietly.
Mhm.
And I get it, man. And hopefully while you healing quietly, it perpetuates you to say, you know what? I'm ready.
What do you say to those black men? And I'm going to speak to all men, but I
Yeah.
really want to talk to my black men
Yeah, of
because
course. Of
those
course.
men are not being spoken to much,
Nah.
or being
Nah.
spoken to often. What do you say to black men who say mental health, talking about mental health is soft?
Yeah, well, I mean, s- being soft is not admitting that you need help. That's just reverse psychology.
Mm-hmm.
When they say talking to, and however, I do get why people don't want to speak to other people, right? It's the post traumatic, that post traumatic syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Where I talked to somebody before and they told everything about me, or I told somebody something about me before and they used it against me. So you got some men out there that's like that, but they're 9 times out of 10 are not the ones that's saying that it's soft. They just like, I'm never doing it again.
Yeah.
The guys that never did it and the guys that's like trying to perpetuate that therapy is soft, no, you're actually soft for not admitting who you really are and what you're really going through.
I was all caught up. You see, I'm like,
Yes.
because I don't know many men who has done therapy, and I mean, I feel like when we talk about mental health, I feel like when you think of mental health, therapy just jumps in your mind. But from your experience and your journey, do you feel like therapy is the only way to really,
Well, no,
attack your mental health?
Well, again, the body has to release, the mind has to release as well. Right now, yes, your mind, your top is a part of your body, but where do we release here? The way we release this up here, whatever we going through, 9 times out of 10 through addiction, whatever that addiction may be. It don't necessarily got to be drugs. It could be a shopping addiction. It could be a gambling addiction. It could be a porn addiction. It could be a sexual addiction. It could be a food addiction, right? We release it in anger and aggression, right? And this is why we find ourselves hurting people because hurt people, right? We release our mental health through sex. We release our mental, and that it may not be that you addicted to sex, but when the time is right, it's like, okay, let me just trauma bond with having sex because it clears something out for the moment, right? Eating food. I'm sometimes a stress eater. Like I've gotten
I am
better,
as well.
but I am what a major depressed eater. I gotta fill a void.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I can eat 2 cheesesteaks and then I'm gaining all this weight. And then it's like once I get through whatever I'm going through, now I'm working out
Back
again.
in the gym, drinking
Back
your
in the
water.
gym,
That's
drinking
yeah,
the
I
water,
agree.
right?
I'll be there sometimes.
And then and it's just like we just find ourselves releasing in so many ways opposed to the way that's really going to work, and that's just talking to somebody.
Okay, so you will say that like therapy will probably be the first step for anybody.
Therapy will recognizing who you are and recognizing that nothing else worked. Nothing else worked. So try something new. When I tried to commit suicide, I did it passive aggressively, right? I remember vividly. I'm going to take all these pills. I'm going to mix, whether they fake or not. I probably had some fake ones, had some real ones, right? I would mix the Percocets with the Xanax, right? And I'm dumping these joints. And I remember one time I asked God, I was so high, and I asked God, don't wake me up the next day. I'm no good to me. I'm no good to my children. I'm no good to the community. Why do you constantly keep waking me up? For what? Ain't nothing coming out of this but me going back outside trying to figure out where can I get high or how can I get high. Now, I never went to the point of, selling my body or doing anything with another man. I wasn't exempt from it because drugs make you do things that you never thought that you would do.
And I think a lot of people ignore that.
Right, because
I was addicted. Yeah.
I was stealing from my kids.
Yeah.
Stealing from them, stealing from people, committing criminal activities, right? So when God kept waking me up, I said, you know what? Let me try something different.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my co-parent, my kid's mother, my last two kids. I have three co-parents, but my last two kids is by my last co-parent, and I can't never thank her enough. We're not together,
Mm-hmm.
but she been through a lot with me, and she still stood by and had patience with me in that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, but if it wasn't because of me, I mean because of her as well, I probably wouldn't be here today.
I kind of got lost when you said co-parent because that's like the perfect way to say that.
Yeah,
You know, wrapping this as we wrap this up,
yeah,
I want to acknowledge that
yeah,
a lot of times people are like my child's mother, my baby mother, you know
yeah.
what I mean? But co-parent, like let
Yeah,
them know
we're
we co-parents.
co-parents.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm around.
How about that? Yeah, they need to be acknowledged because a
Yeah,
lot of men don't.
yeah,
You know, or when they are around, honestly, you know, a lot of women are still like, I'm a single mom.
yeah. No,
And
no,
it's like,
she's
no,
not
you're
a
a
single
single
mom.
woman.
You're a
You're not a
single woman,
single
but you're not
mom.
a single mother at all.
There's a difference. There's a
I go
difference.
over there, fix stuff up. I'm
There's a
there.
difference.
I'm leading. I'm educating,
Yeah.
providing.
Yes.
Yes.
So I definitely, again, we talked about black men having it hard. That's just
Yeah.
one of the areas where black men have it hard. Black men, if the mom and the dad is not together, most times, not saying all cases because
Yeah.
I don't know everyone in the world, but in most cases, women be like, I'm a single mom, and in some cases, you're not single. You're a single
Yeah.
woman,
You're just a
not a
single,
single mom,
not a single
because like
mom.
you said, co-parent and co-parent mean that we equally playing a role in this child's life.
Yeah.
So I definitely love how you said it. That's why I was all cool, like, yeah, these ain't co-parent. Oh yes, I love it, and I love to see a man, and I love to see a black man with his children. I love to
That's
see
what's
it.
up.
So shout out to you. I just love it.
Appreciate you.
But what's next for you on your journey?
So I'm coming up with a documentary.
Okay.
I think it's about that time. I'm coming up with a journal book for men.
Mm-hmm.
Since we on the mental health piece, man, I don't think we black men, we don't have like a fly journal. You know what I'm saying? Where we can, make it look fly, present it to our men. I have a program that I created called Man Code. It's just to help men be different
Mm-hmm.
than what we used to being, and it's just like help elevating, right? Because we, 87% of our black men don't have nowhere to go, right? Not only that, don't have life insurance, just don't have basic things that can just take you to the next level because we're not thriving, we're surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, don't nobody care anyway. So guess what? Let me just keep doing the best that I know how. But no, when we, this Man Code program is going to be able to bring us collectively together and figure out ways of how we can introduce being a man in a different way opposed to being a man in this surviving guerrilla warfare way. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what we got going on. November 1st is my birthday, so I'm
Okay, I'm
doing
locking it in.
I'm doing a book signing. I'm looking for a event space in Philly, so we can put that together. So the book signing, I'm creating a card game called How Fly Are You, where we just talk about like stuff back in the day, like gear and things that you used to wear back in the day. So it's just, how fly are you type thing. It's doing a few things, man.
You saying it all calm like that. This is major stuff. You like, it's like that. You just giving it to us all calm and stuff.
There's a lot of stuff, man, in the play, man.
But that's what's up.
Yeah.
Like that is really what's up. So before we get out of here, I definitely want to say, like, I see you.
Yes.
I hear you.
Yes.
And as a woman, I'm gonna try my best to understand you.
Yes,
I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you too, Queen.
So,
Trust me, I do.
Listen,
You
so we
guys
appreciating each other at this moment.
You women, our black queen, y'all are the first teachers to mankind. We honor you. Trust me.
I thank you for that, but I want to give you your flowers because many times you guys don't get your flowers.
Yes.
And when we see a black man on the TV, we always hear about the bad things. Most cases, that's how the media perceive you guys. So I want to use this space is letting you know that, like, I'm giving you your flowers. I see what you're doing. I hear what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. And your story, it inspired me, but hopefully it helps others.
Thank you.
Especially these young guys coming up from you who don't want to talk about mental health because they're ashamed.
Yeah.
they're embarrassed,
Yeah.
and they're taking their trauma out onto the streets, and they're getting arrested, and they're shooting, and they're making our communities more dangerous. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to thank you for that, and keep doing what you're doing. But before you get out of here, I want you to look at this camera,
Yes.
give this camera your information, and hold that book up so they
Yes.
know where to go at to find their book, and they get the right book, Mastering Mental Health.
All right, so my name is Brandon Chastain, also known as B McFly. B McFly stands for being motivated comes from loving yourself, and it also stands for Black men can faithfully love you. All right, mental health is real. Don't shy away from your mental health issues because you can find yourself by yourself trying to pick yourself up, right? And like, let us know, let somebody know that you need help so we can help you, pick up and you can get going. Just co-authored a book called Mastering Mental Health, right? Volume 1, You Are Not Alone, with Master P, Tiana Von Johnson, Darian Henson, and 9 other authors, man. My chapter, which is the first chapter, is Trauma Baby, man. Trauma Baby. Get in tune, get activated. You can just look me up on Google, man. B McFly or Brandon Chastain, and you'll see everything there, man. But I'm not a stranger. I'm here, man. I appreciate the love and support. And shout out to Toya, man. Let's go.
I appreciate you. And again, thank you so much for stopping past the Toya Moment podcast. I only got one rule only.
What's that?
Don't you be a stranger. So
Not,
you got to come
not.
back past and sit across from me again.
Yes.
I enjoyed this conversation.
Yes, I did too.
I needed this conversation. So I need this conversation. I need it. So I appreciate you again. And y'all, this was another episode of the Toya Moment podcast. Remember to tell a friend to come check us out. We're on all platforms. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Bye.